Hello, this is an example of systems design. As we've gotten into installing and setting up front, you make the best decision you can in the moment, but then in hindsight, you're like, okay, we probably could have set this up a little bit better. And when you're thinking about getting into a new tool or piece of tech, you always want to be keeping in mind the PPF, the present, past, and future. So that's where am I now? What do I know from the past? And where am I going to go in the future? So for instance, on this particular section, we are setting up front, which is a support ticketing system. We have a number of different clients that we've started to set up here, and we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different rules, one per each client. And so that's where we're at right now in the present. Like, what got us here? Well, we needed to set up each one of those different clients. Now, in the future, we're going to have more clients. And then that means every time a new client is added, we're going to have to add a new one of these rules. Additionally, if we want to update any of these rules, you need to go into each one of those specific rules and update them. And that creates a debt within the company because somebody has to go in. There's a lot more work that's involved that creates a task debt there. Additionally, front charges per the number of automations. So you can only have up to about 20 different automations within front until you have to go into the enterprise level. And I'm all for spending money on value, but not if it's just because we haven't designed out the system well enough. And there's no real reason in my mind to have each one of these rules separated out. So part of being a technologist and then developing your ability to do systems design is really thinking about, okay, hey, is there a better way to be able to design this out? So in the current design, you come in here and an email is one received. It comes in here and then there's a branch by condition based on the contact is in a certain folder or company that we've created. And then two, do they have the email address that's associated with that? You can add multiple different email addresses there. So this is kind of the current one here. And I'm going to copy this here. So we'll set this one up together. And then if we go back into our other rules, I've started a new one here of like how this should be designed out going forward. And so with this one, first I'm going to rename this if I can. Maybe I can't from this level. I can only delete the rule from this level. That's always fun. Oh, let's try this. So this would be client inbox. Triaging is not the right word. We'll just go with client inbox right now. I'll come up with a better name when I'm not on the spot on a video. So we have client inbox here. I'm hoping that it renames this up here, but we'll test that later if not. And then with this one, what we do is we create a unique rule for each person, for each company instead. So instead of having them all in one, like in separate ones, we just do one for each one of them. There's not really much of a difference on this. And like, as you're building something out, you want to be considering that of like, what is the debt of like maintaining this going forward? And that's really that mindset of the future. And that's one of the things that really defines a technologist is really thinking about like, what's the future cost of this? Not just in the moment, the present cost, but what's that future cost to maintaining the system? So I'd go add a branch, and then I would say, I would do from the from address. Oh, where are you? So I'm going to add a branch, I'm going to type in from, and then the from field contains that URL, or it can also be as far as the contact is in a list, which we would then select that company name there as well. And then I would save it. And then I would name this as well. And, thinking about organization, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to like alphabetize them. So like as I'm going in here, so we've got A, B, C, D, E, F. So this one should be a little bit higher. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. And then that is now in order. And that's just, again, thinking about your future self of like, okay, somebody else has to come in here and find out. Because over time, there's going to be a lot of these different rules. And if you have to come in here and see these different rules, organizing them alphabetically is really going to help yourself out to be able to see those alphabetically down the road. And then now we need to then go in and update these actions here so that the actions will show, one, to move it into the proper inbox. And then I also would like a tag applied for that particular client as well, as we're still testing this and just designing out like what's the best way to be able to use this tool. And that's really what a technologist does. We figure out the best way to use the tool for the business, as opposed to how most people will handle it is like, oh yeah, this is just the way it is. This is just the way the tool handles it. As technologists, we're really bridging that gap between what the technology can do, what that tool can use, and the actual business outcomes. Because as a business outcome in this particular aspect, I want to keep down my debt going forward of being able to maintain this system. I need it to be reliable, that client emails are going into the right spot. And I don't want to pay enterprise pricing for front because I have to have, 30 different rules in there for this client thing. The cost just doesn't make sense. And that's what we're always looking for as technologists of, because you can spend an endless amount of money on technology. Is it actually doing its job, or do we just not design out the system correctly?